Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So I tried to film this video earlier and it just didn't work. I got very rambly. Um, it didn't really get to the point of many things. I missed some things out, so I thought let's just sit down, redo it, and try and be a bit more concise. And I think the problem is I never saw this coming. And it's all happened quite quickly. So I've not yet quite got my head around this, but so it's harder to explain. Anyway, as you have read the title of this video, you will be thinking, what the hell has happened now? Because as you guys may or may not know, depending on how closely you follow me and my journey and my horses, we've had a turbulent old year with lameness, horses being lame, generally rehabbing Snip. Obviously, we lost Chili. Danny's not been very well. It's all just been a little bit chaotic. And I was really hoping this autumn would be a whole lot less chaotic. And I had some amazing, amazing plans that just haven't happened, quite frankly. There is something on the horizon that I'm not going to talk about in this video, but basically, you've all come to find out where Snip's gone, and why has Snip gone anywhere. And to explain all of that, I first have to explain why she's gone somewhere. So, as you guys may or may not know, depending on the last video of mine you saw, when I came back off holiday and Snip had a little break over the summer for a month, she wasn't doing great. She was very, she was lame pretty much. She was lame on her right hind, which is her worst leg for her arthritic changes in her hock. Which is not something particularly new with Snip. We know she's got arthritic changes. We know she gets them medicated. And I just assumed she was just ready for her hocks medicating. So that's what we did. If you watch my vet update video, Lucy also has had hers done at a similar time because she's getting a little bit old and had some changes. So because it was quite severe compared to normal, so normally Snip is never really lame. She just shows a little bit of discomfort, whereas this time she was kind of just dragging the leg a little bit more, and obviously was being Snip. She was just like telling me that she wasn't quite happy with that. So we got the vet out. We had a workup done on her. We medicated her hocks and her SI this time because they decided that due to her looking more uncomfortable than she has previously, that we should do her SI as well. And then normally when you've had hocks medicated, there's an entire process that you go through of a short-term rehabilitation to then see the results. So we did that. We did the walking hand. We did the hacking in straight lines. We did the only walking, and then building up to trot work. And we never even got to canter because she just didn't improve. So the medicating the joints didn't work on this occasion, which can happen. Basically, they can stop responding to the medication. There might be, some reason that it's just not worked this time. And so we were kind of like looking at options, and I sat down and spoke with my vets who have been incredible throughout all of this for the last 2 years. And the main thing that concerned me was not the lameness, was not the fact that it was worse than what I expected it to be at this stage. It was the fact that Snippy wasn't happy in herself. So those of you that know Snip, she is a chestnut mare. She's not typically got a smile on her face. She can be a little bit grumpy, but she's very sweet and she does love attention. And over the last few weeks when I've gone in the field, she's just not really wanted to interact that much. She's not like put her ears back or anything, but I just know the difference in my horses. Like, you just know the minutest difference. And I think that's due to the discomfort of the leg. And I think mainly she just has had enough of being messed with. Like, she has had 2 years now of veterinary treatment, her surgery, and then rehabilitation. And it's kind of been a little bit non-stop. We have obviously given her respite in between everything, but it has been an intense 2 years for both her and for me. I know mentally it has really, really drained me. Obviously, it's been extremely expensive as well to go through all the vet fees and the medicating and all of the rehabilitation, which also isn't cheap, you know, water treadmill. She's had seen the physio every 4 weeks. Like it's been a lot for both of us. So I chatted to the vets about my options with her. I do not want to put Snip through any more surgery, any more. Like, I just don't want her messed with, to be honest with you. And she's not uncomfortable, so she's not like in pain with it. It tends to be more, she's lamer when she's in work. So she's not hopping lame or anything like that. She's just, you can just see she doesn't pick that leg up as she does the others. And that is just her gait given the changes. So she's not in this, we don't believe she's in any real discomfort or any pain with it. So the vet said to me, look, your options here are we investigate further, see if there's what more we can do, or you have got the option of turning her away. Now, in order to see if this makes a difference, we will need to turn her away for at least 6 months. And we also had to make that decision quite quickly on whether we turned her away or whether we progressed with, seeing what else we could do veterinary wise. So the reason we had to make that decision quite quickly is because we're coming into winter and also we're coming into bonfire night. So in order to turn Snip away, she needed to go somewhere where she could ideally be in a large area so that she was moving around all the time and living out 24/7. And basically where my horses live is my parents' farm. As you guys know, you've probably watched my winter or autumn routines. My horses come in on an evening, so they can't live out 24/7 due to the ground that we're on. We are on clay. Clay land gets very slippy, very deep, very muddy, very messy, and they are all the things that Snip does not need with arthritic joints. So she needs dry land, she needs a little bit of an incline really just to keep her moving, and she needs to just be moving all of the time but doing low level. So basically spoke to the vets and we are going to give her the opportunity to be turned away and see if it makes any difference to her. But I needed to find somewhere to keep her. So we looked at like grass liveries, retirement liveries, basically where she could go and live in a herd. And when I say I have trawled the area, like I have literally looked at probably every what sounded half decent grass livery or retirement livery within about 2 hours of me in a matter of weeks. Because as you guys know, my horses are my world, and the thought of someone else looking after them, I hate it. I do hate it, I must admit. And if we had, non-clay land and the opportunity for her to live out, she would have stayed at home. But it just wasn't an option with our setup, unfortunately. So I have found somewhere for Snippy to go, and she has already gone. It was the last place at the yard, and it is a lovely, lovely place. So she is out living in a herd now, in a field, and she has been officially turned away. She's living her very best feral life. She's fluffing up because obviously with her staying out over winter, she's currently not got a rug on because it's pretty mild anyway, but just so that she builds that coat and everything. So she went last week and she initially made a couple of friends, and then there was one horse that wasn't too keen on her in the herd. That's now swapped and that horse is now her best friend. And yeah, it's just a lovely place, and I will tell you more about that and how she's settled in a minute. But the main thing I wanted to get to is what happens now. Like, what happens with Snip? Are we going to see her again? All of those questions. So we do not know if Snip will come back into work after this. We don't know whether we'll try to bring Snip back into work after this. That is a decision I've got to make in 6 months' time, depending on how she is looking, how she's feeling in herself. But at the minute, she's at complete rest. She's in a field, she's with friends, and she gets, all of the comforts. She's got a field shelter, so she's not like roughing it or anything. Snip would never rough it. But yeah, so I've given her all the best opportunities and everything that the vet said that she needed to be turned away, to be a horse, and just to have 6 months of no one, no vet visits apart from a vaccination. She's had her shoes off. She's just gone back to nature in a way. So yes, that is what we've decided, and I do need to make a decision in 6 months' time whether I will try to bring her back into work or not. We don't know the likelihood of whether this will have made a huge difference to her. She could find that 6 months of low level movement and not putting any more strain on her joints, that some could have fused, which, can be really good. So there is the opportunity that she may come back into work. There is also the opportunity 50-50 that she may not. So we may decide in 6 months' time, looking at her, that it's not worth pursuing bringing her back into work, and then she may have to be retired fully, which is obviously something I really, really hope does not happen. But realistically, just got to, see what happens. We've had a fantastic summer. Summerford Park was the highlight of my summer with Snippy, and I was so, so excited to have my little event horsey, another one, and hopefully to have been running her and Percy next season, which unfortunately is not going to happen now, but I have done the best for her. Some things aren't meant to be, and perhaps we will just have to wait and see. Someone's ringing me. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what I've said and what I have said now. Basically, let's get on to where she's gone. So she has now gone to a beautiful place. She's in a big field with 4 other horses, 5 other horses, 4 other horses, I believe. 4 or 5 other horses. I dropped her off last week and she settled pretty quickly. It's really good. I've got cameras on her all the time that I can see her. I can visit her whenever I like, and the lady who's looking after her is going twice a day to check on her and feed her and give her attention and groom and everything. So she's really receiving the best care possible, short of being at home. And it's just a much better situation for her. So yeah, that I thought was kind of important to let you know where Snippy had gone. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm absolutely gutted. I was upset at first, and now I think the realization's kind of sunk in that it's just so rubbish. We've gone through all of this, and we genuinely thought we'd come to the other side this summer, and we're back at square one again with her, which is just so sad, because she's such a fantastic mare, and I genuinely did think that, we'd get everything together. The vets have said that all along, otherwise we'd have never, done all of this, but you just never know with horses, unfortunately. So I will keep you guys updated on her. I will let you know when I go visit her. And yes, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you've ever turned a horse away and it was a good experience or not, whether it made a difference. I've done a lot of research into it, and there are, some cases where it has made a big difference, some cases where it hasn't. But that is something we'll have to review in 6 months' time. So yeah, guys, that is where Snippy has gone. She has gone on to a very nice grass livery / retirement livery, and she's having a lovely time, and it's just a little bit rubbish. But I thought I'd let you know because I do have sort of some autumn routine videos coming out this month, and especially those they're showing all the horses, and it'll be a bit obvious when Snip's not in them. And I always want to kind of share the journey of owning horses with you and the ups and downs, and there have been a lot of downs recently, so I apologise for that because it has felt like I've been sat in front of a camera giving you bad news a lot recently. But otherwise, all the other horses are doing really well. Percy is enjoying a bit of a break after his eventing now that the season's ended. He's having a bit of a chill, and then he'll go out and do some BD and combined training and a bit of arena eventing this autumn winter, but he's having a little bit more of a relaxed autumn winter. And yeah, the others are doing really well. Lucy's rehabbing really, really well with Mum. Danny and Taffy and Caramel are all having a great time. So other than the changing circumstances with Snip, we're all pretty much the same. And we will soon be back into the swing of regular videos. There has been a little gap before this one, just with everything happening with Snippy. So I do apologise, but don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon for another video. Bye guys!